I'm Daruk, and today I'm here with a new build video. Maybe you know my favorite weapon, the Sobek, and maybe you know the good old times where the Sobek was extremely strong. But guess what? The Sobek is back, and maybe it's even stronger than before. And to bring the Sobek on this power level again, we have to understand the synergy between acid shells and the ability Toxic Lash from Saryn, because if you trigger the mod acid shells, you also have a toxic proc with the HP percentage based damage that you get from this mod. And when you kill an enemy with this acid shell toxic HP based proc, you trigger the mod again, and so you got a chain reaction. But before you ask what does this even mean, let me show you. So I stacked Arcane for even more ability strength, and we can also use Sinurik to have even more. And now let's say hello to the friendly heavy gunner. So let's take a look at the mods that we use. On Saryn, we have a high ability strength setup because all three abilities that we are permanently playing are scaling with it, and all three boosting our toxin proc. We also have one augment mod for spores to have more corrosive damage to trigger acid shell faster than toxic lash for acid shell to have the toxin proc available, and raw for the damage boost overall. Then we have all three Umbra mods and adaptation because I'm not a big fan from the shield gating meta. Also Arcane Craze for the healing. Enemy radar to have a better enemy spawn, but also for a more efficient playstyle. And let's take a look at the mods from Sobek. The galvanized mods that we're using are for the multi-shot and for more status chance and a damage boost overall. Then, of course, acid gel to have the enemy HP percentage based damage in a AoE. Then also as much toxin mods as you can use. If you have a Sobek Riven with toxin on it, use it. If not, it's also not a problem. Then you can use a Fire Red mod or the Augment mod for the Sobek. Then we have a Prime Charge Shell, but you can also use Cold Status mod for more status chance and for viral damage. But in my case, I have a better experience with Corrosive in this case, and also Vigilante Armaments for even more multi-shot. And I also recommend primary Merciless because the AoE damage and the kills from acid shells also trigger primarily Merciless, so it's extremely easy to have max stacks with primarily Merciless. With the other one, I think it's way harder. And now some side notes to this build, because there are some weaknesses. If you play Steel Path and you play with this build solo, you learn to hate the Necros and the Loki Ankalyt, because Necros can spawn other Ankalyts, and if he spawns them, they are completely status immune, and this build relies really hard on status effects, so something like this can kill your run. But against normal enemies or Eximus enemies, this build works completely fine. Damage wise, I think this build doesn't have a cap where it doesn't perform anymore, but survivability is kept to I think level 400, 500. But of course, if you have Warframes in the team that can you make invisible or something, then this should be no problem. And sorry if I didn't go enough into detail, but I think the mechanic behind all of this is a little bit too complex for my English skills to teach it perfect. And also, this was a friend request, so I hope it was entertaining enough. And also for the rest of the views, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.